have in this world is my boss and my word, and I don't break them for no one. You understand?
What's up, YouTube? Today I want to talk to you about television shows. I mean, like, what is up with TV today? Seriously, it's almost like Hollywood. They don't listen to the fans and they put out poor television, just like Hollywood's been putting out poor movies. Most of the stuff out today I don't care for. It's terrible. They just don't make them like they used to. You know, I'm going to talk about some shows, but I'm going to leave out sitcoms and documentaries. Documentaries just because they're documentaries, you know, you can't really, you just filming whatever, you know, you're documentary on. And sitcoms, I haven't really watched a good sitcom since the 80s or 90s. I did watch Big Bang Theory for a little while, but it just became the Sheldon Show, and it just, I don't know, it got old after a while. But just about all your sitcoms today are just terrible. They suck. And most of the, I don't know, the comedy's been done, you know, in sitcoms, so I'm excluding them. I'm mainly talking about three types of shows that you usually see on television today. The first type is your reality-based television show. People are getting sick of reality TV. It's just a known fact, and but they keep putting it out there and over again. It's this over-dramatized stuff. And that's a lot of problem with most of your television today. It's just over-dramatized. They don't put any comedy or action or adventure into their shows anymore. It's mainly all drama. And when you do that, you make poor television. That's why people, you know, plus when it comes to reality TV, people watch TV or movies to escape reality for a little while. They don't want to see it, you know. The only people who mainly like reality TV shows are your drama queens. For example, Survivor should have been canceled a long time ago. It's a terrible, terrible show. The other one that they need to stop doing is like The Bachelorette and The Bachelor. They've already proven that all that is fake. It's done for ratings. So, you know, I don't know why people get into them shows, really, I don't. When it's fake, and they know it's fake. It makes no sense. But, for the most part, most people are tired of reality TV shows. I definitely wouldn't recommend any of them, especially like the Real Housewives. I mean, wow, that shouldn't even gotten started, period. Or, you know, the whole Kardashians show, crap. The Kardashians, people need to stop talking about them jokers. I mean, they're terrible. Horrible TV. The second type of television that you see a lot of times are your cop or detective shows. There are a lot of these. I mean, a lot of these. Now, if they had good quality mystery detective shows like Monk, The Mentalist, Lie to Me, something like that, you know, I really wish they'd do something similar to that again, you know. Perception was pretty good, but they canceled it after two. I don't know how others feel about it, but most of the time when they put out a really good television show and you start getting into it, after like a couple of seasons or so, they cancel it. You know, Forever, for example, was a really good murder mystery type show, and they canceled it after like the first season. Lucifer, really good television show, murder mystery, had a little supernatural going on with it, but it was an excellent show. And I heard another network picked it up, and I hope they start it up again, but they stopped it after 3 seasons. But there's been other shows kind of like that, and they just don't show them for very long. They cancel them after 1 or 2 seasons, and then they're done. I tried to watch the new show called Instinct. I've watched the first season. It's okay for the most part. It has a very strong feminist undertone in it, which makes it kind of almost makes me not want to like it. And at the end of the season, she's literally fallen for his ex-CIA buddy, which they do not look good as a couple at all, and it doesn't make no sense why she's fallen for it at all. It's terrible. But anyway, other than that, it's an okay show. If I was to recommend any cop shows today, I would definitely suggest you checking out The Rookie. It stars Nathan Fillion from Castle, and it's a really good show. It's not over dramatized. You know, it has action and comedy and adventure in it too, so it makes for a really good program, television. I do watch Lethal Weapon. Lethal Weapon. I don't know how Sean Williams' character is going to his character is kind of stiff and rigid, so it doesn't quite mesh with Damian Wayne's character, Murdoch. Murtaugh, sorry. They don't gel well together. The comedy doesn't seem to be really all that great anymore. The other guy who played Martin Riggs, I didn't really care for him all that much, but as far as the comedy and their two characters meshing or gelling, they worked for some reason. So I'm watching this new season. I don't know if it's going to go over too well, really. I'm kind of on the fence about it. But that's pretty much about it for detective shows or whatever. Most of the stuff I watch is the third type of television program they usually have. It's like sci-fi and fantasy, a little horror mixed in there maybe. That's the particular type of television I usually watch. I really like, my main suggestion is Orville. Orville is probably the best sci-fi show on today. I'm really looking forward to the second season. The first season was excellent, and you know, Seth MacFarlane does a Family Guy, so I was really worried. I thought it was going to be terrible when I first started watching it. Come to find out, I really liked it. It's got a Star Trek theme in it, but it's also got some comedy, action, and adventure. It's not just all drama. It makes for an excellent show. However, the one I don't recommend, period, is that STD or Star Trek Discovery or whatever. That is not Star Trek at all. And the fans have spoken. The show's getting canceled already. They're actually starting a new series with Jean-Luc Picard, or Patrick Stewart's character, Jean-Luc Picard. because it's flopped so bad. Uh, we'll see how that goes. Uh, see, another one I tend to watch is Supernatural. I like Supernatural. The only problem I have with it is you don't need all that drama between the three main characters. Who hurt whose feelings this week, kind of BS. They don't need that to keep the show moving along. They need to just skip over all that crap and stop doing that. The rest of the show's great, but other than that, another one I watch off the CW network, which is CBS and Warner Brothers combined, is The Flash. The Flash is a great show. The only you kind of have this superhero craze going on right now, and you'll see a lot of superhero shows on. But The Flash is about the only one that I recommend. All the others aren't really all that great. The Flash. The problem with the superhero shows is that they're almost making crap up for the most part, or they're taking bits and pieces from the comics and then mashing them all together. They're not telling the actual stories. And for instance, on Arrow, I've watched the Arrow. It was nail biting because it's a superhero drama or soap opera, because he's literally sleeping with all the female lead characters practically on the show. Not all of them, but just about. And Oliver, it's literally about his relationships for the most part. It's not really about the bad guy at all. And most of the stories they tell you are actually Batman stories, not Green Arrow stories. So I don't understand why they've done that. The Flash don't tell the whole story either. They're taking bits and pieces from all the comics and putting them together to make their own version of the Flash. Now, it's entertaining, and I like it because it's got action, adventure, and comedy mixed in. It's not all drama. The Arrow it's like all drama, so it's really hard to watch. Don't get me started on Supergirl. That's absolutely terrible, cheesiest show they came out with. Same thing with Legends. Very, very badly done. Really cheesy. Black Lightning is probably the worst one they got on. And then you have, the Legacies came from the Vampire Diaries. Leave the vampire crap alone. People are sick of that vampire crap. And then you have, they just started a new charm, like they really needed one. The first one was bad enough. And now they've done something called The Chilling Tales of Sabrina, which makes no sense whatsoever. The show is terrible. I wouldn't recommend any of them other shows. The 100 had a great idea, but it made no sense that the only prisoners to go to Earth are a bunch of teenagers after 100 years. You're telling me there are no adult prisoners whatsoever. It's dumb, dumb, dumb. And the 100, another main problem I had with is every time you turn around, one of the leaders of any of the groups are turning out to be some little teenage female girl or whatever. Seriously, give me a break. That shows is really bad. I used to watch, when Sci-Fi Channel first came out, I used to watch Sci-Fi Channel, but once the Canadians took it over, Asylum Pictures, their stuff is so F-rated. I don't know. It's really bad. All their stuff is really bad, and all their shows are terrible. I haven't seen a good show on Sci-Fi since maybe, Eureka wasn't too bad and Warehouse 13 was okay. But anything else has been just horrible. Stargate SG-1, Stargate Atlantis was really great. But then they came out with Stargate Universe because they borrowed the writers from the new Battlestar Galactica, which over dramatized everything, and SGU bombed because of them. Nobody liked it. The fans hated it just as much as they hated the new Battlestar Galactica because it's over dramatized. You can't do that to Sci-Fi. It doesn't work at all. The original Battlestar Galactica was awesome, and they just totally destroyed it with this new one. So most of their program has been really over dramatized. I tried to watch Altered Carbon from Netflix. It was terrible. Made no sense. You can't understand what's going on. They don't explain nothing. I tried to watch Colony. Colony was over dramatized. You don't see the aliens as all a bunch of humans. There's just certain. There's not really a whole lot of good sci-fi on anymore. Grimm was okay, even though it was cheesy. I liked it. But that Sleepy Hollow, oh my gosh! Once Upon a Time, seriously, you're really stretching it. That Wyatt Earp or Wyona Earp, sorry, and what's the other one? The Jenny Helsing, Van Helsing girl or whatever. Come on. Some of that crap, you're just really stretching it and makes for terrible television. I haven't even bothered trying checking those two out. But yeah, I do watch Midnight Texas. I think the characters are really quirky. The second season seems a little off to me. I'm not sure I'm really digging it that much. It's okay, but if they keep dropping, they're running out all the main characters. They're literally getting rid of most of the main characters. So I don't know what's going on there. Game of Thrones. There's so much better quality fantasy works to work on, like Margaret West and Tracy Hickman's Dragonlance series. R.A. Salvatore's Drizzt series. Some people call them Drizzt. I call them Drizzt. The Legend of Drizzt is just an awesome series. There's so much better fantasy works out there than Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is literally just them running around stabbing each other in the back and killing each other off. That's literally all it is. Very, very little fantasy elements to it. You see dragons a couple times, and maybe some undead walkers, but other than that, that's it. It's a terrible show. I don't understand how there must be a lot of drama queens out there, because that's literally all it is a lot of drama. Very little fantasy at all. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with television. It's very sad that there's very little decent quality television program out there anymore. Not like when it was in the 80s and 90s when we had some really great television. Today, most of it just sucks. It's terrible. Anyways, that's my thoughts on the television of today. I told you to be told the truth, and you've just been told.